Merkel Media.
He put it in park, threw open the driver's door, ran out the side of the car, across the front of it, and jumped right off the side of the bridge in front of me.
The only people that really pulled over were truckers.
He said, we're going Hodge, and he didn't slow down. He went across the median onto the oncoming traffic, but where they could see him coming, they just got out of the way.
I noticed this plane was really low. It went right in front of us, hit the fence, and it spun around. 30 seconds more, he could have hit us.
But I went around that truck, and a guy stepped out from behind the truck and threw a piece of wood, and it shot through my window just like a spear and stuck in the back of the cab of my truck.
That's probably one of the stranger things I've seen.
Welcome to I know, right? And it starts. Here it goes. Welcome to Hammer Lane Legends. I am Brian Merkel.
I'm Brian Shipper.
I'm Mike Dre.
If you have a crazy and wild story you would like to share with us from the road, if you would like to just have a conversation with us about your experiences on the road, go ahead and contact us at hllpodcast@protonmail.com. That's hllpodcast@protonmail.com. Or go to the Hammer Lane Legends webpage, hit the contact section, get a hold of us that way. Either way works for us. Just get a hold of us. Shipper, tell them about the voicemail line and do it with enthusiasm. Yeah, I know.
Absolutely. Voicemail line,
That's
short
thought.
story of anything crazy, wild, insane, might have happened, you caused, you seen. Leave a voicemail, 515-585-MERK, 515-585-6375. Short story, 5-10 minutes at the most. Follow the simple prompts. You get to hear Tony's voice. You have the gift of gab and you got a story longer than that, get a hold of the producers or Brian.
Just send us an email.
Send us an email, whatever.
hllpodcast@protonmail.com.
No, that's not what I had, but whatever.
It'll work.
Anyway, do it.
There you go.
Oh,
Tell
and
'em
speaking
about
of which,
buying
we did have voicemails.
We have
don't
one.
We
Yeah,
have one.
we do have one.
Okay.
Yep. And we're gonna take a listen
Keep
to
us
that.
fueled,
then.
keep us caffeinated. Buymeacoffee.com/Hammerlane. It's a virtual tip jar. If you like what we're doing here, feel free to contribute. Follow the simple prompts. If not, thanks for looking.
Amen. Thanks for looking.
Yes.
Today we're talking to Jason. Jason is. How are you doing, Jason? Let's start with that. How are you doing?
I am doing wonderful today.
That's fantastic. It's
You know
good
what?
to see.
He
It's
looks
actually
like
good to meet you face to face.
Yeah.
He
Virtually.
looks like the guy from the
face-to-face.
dock. The guy that loads the. He used to load. Does he still load the Rouse at work?
Oh, Anthony.
Yeah, that's
a little
him.
bit. A little
Kind of
bit.
looks like him. It's his brother.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. That's it. I'm done.
It doesn't make sense. Nobody can see what Anthony actually looks like.
Well,
I
they
know.
will if they hear the show.
If they watch the show, then I guess
Yeah,
that's
there
what
you
Chipper.
go.
Yeah, there you go.
Otherwise,
So,
just imagine.
anyway, Jason, tell us a little bit about yourself. Jason is our new producer. I'll start with that, and that way
Yes.
it leads us in, so everybody knows why we're talking to Jason and what's going on. And he's got the
Right.
Merkel Media hat on.
Right.
Yeah, I
did
said
see
that. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't hear you say that. I apologize. I was not paying attention to you.
Why would you?
Jason, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. My name is Jason York, and I also have a podcast called AFK Discussions. And actually, our podcast is going through a little change right now. So if you listen to our podcast on this coming up Monday, we will be announcing all that. But anyways, so I am a graphic designer by trade. I am a podcaster. I am a photographer. I do a little bit of everything.
Uh-huh.
So when Tony moved to Tennessee, I used to listen to his show, but when he moved down here, I started doing some graphics for him, doing some design, and we became friends, and we started going to church together.
Uh-huh.
And so we just kind of hit it off. And I've actually, you mentioned the Merkel Media hat. I've had this hat forever before I was actually working with Merkel Media, just because I've done
We
graphics.
played ours 5 months ago. Just saying.
It's always a pleasure to have Shipper on the show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sorry.
Anyway,
Proceed.
as you were saying,
That's pretty much it. I mean, I'm a kind of a jack of all trades. Anything computer wise, graphical, videography, anything. I do everything. So
okay. Did you go to school for this? Is this was this
I
a
did.
college? Did you,
Yeah.
Very
I
cool.
went to school for graphic design. And actually, we were talking before we came on the air about how, I would fit into the trucking industry. And I worked for one of the largest pest control companies.
Okay.
And I'm not going to say the name just because I don't know how they, anyways, but, and I do graphics for some of our trailers, I guess what would you call them? I said it earlier and now I lost my train of thought. The liquid trailers, the tanker trailers, dude. Yes.
Yeah.
My mind, I'm very ADD and sometimes my mind just goes blank.
That's all
And
right.
I cannot think. But yeah, so I do graphics and stuff for the sides of those. So an interesting thing that happened, they're like, hey, we had a insurance claim. Can you come down and take a picture of this trailer with dents and stuff in it? So I had to do that. So yeah, I'm kind of adjacent to the trucking industry. So
Wow.
yeah.
That's kind of neat. That is,
No, you had the inside of the looking at it from the outside looking in, not being one.
Definitely.
Did you actually design the graphics that went on there, or was it a picture they say, here, put this on the side of the truck?
Oh no, I design it. Yeah. So I'll have to do the layout and everything, the logos and the logos of our product that's in it and all that. So yeah.
Very cool.
That's it. I always see them going down the road. These a lot of times it's not tankers, it's the side of dry vans. And some of the graphics on like Wegmans around here, you see those.
Oh my word! Yeah, they've really gotten.
I mean, there's
graphic
like
on,
pictures of
really
sushi
stuff,
and cooked food and everything. It's like that's a little different than what you do because it's just photographs put up there. But then I've also seen like cartoons on the side of the truck, and it's like that's all graphic design. I find it amazing, not only that it's on the side of a truck, but that it lasts through winters and
it is fascinating
and everything like that. I always thought that was really neat.
Yeah, I agree. It is really cool.
Yeah, most of them are made with vinyl, and the vinyl really holds up. So yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. And I've noticed on the show art, here on our show, the change in it. It looks really cool. I really do like it a lot.
Oh, are you the one that does all the thumbnails and stuff for the?
Yeah, I started, I guess, 5 episodes now ago.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, a lot of them are pretty intricate artwork. I'm pretty impressed with them.
I know. That's why it's like, it's like a real step up. It looks really cool. So I really appreciate it. Really do.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
So you used to, now you had said you were in a band.
Yes.
A while ago, right? Tell us a little bit about that. Tell us a little bit about your time on the road.
So, so it's very interesting because I was trying to think of driving stories. I have a lot of stories I think people would find entertaining, some that are very funny. So the thing about living in a van with 4 other guys for month-long times and we're also hauling a trailer, so we got those was it 18 passenger vans, and they were hauling a trailer behind it with all of our equipment in it. It gets real stinky at times.
I bet it does.
Yeah. And so we took out the back 2 bench seats and we put like a bed back there so we could sleep going down the road. I don't know how legal that is, but but we did it.
It's all relative.
Just take a couple of ratchet straps, strap the person to the bed, and then you're safe.
Yeah. So one thing is very interesting is one night when we were driving, I swear we saw a UFO. It was crazy. So we were driving and we're like, what is that light in front of us? And it, I was like, oh, it's probably a plane, but there was no beacon lights, the flashing lights on the side where the wings would be. And it just kind of stayed with us for at least 30 minutes. Just this light in the sky. It wasn't a star. I don't know what it is, but that was kind of freaky.
Yeah.
But mainly just, the driving experience with a trailer is something that, I don't know how you guys do it. Cause it can be scary at times, like real scary, like if you I know I've heard that larger trailers are easier than smaller trailers to, but I've had, the thing, start fishtailing and it's scary, man.
Like, management means it's not loaded properly. That's why you really.
we're like in our 20s, putting musical equipment there. So obviously we're not loading it correctly.
If it fits, it ships, right, Chip?
Yes, exactly.
So I was going to talk to you guys about something that I think is very interesting. So growing up, like, the late 70s, early 80s, I was, I guess 5, 6 years old. But I remember the trucking industry was huge back then. Like truckers were like the heroes, like you would have like the Smokey and the Bandit show, movies. There were songs. I remember my grandfather had an old 45 of this song Teddy Bear. Do you remember that? The
Yep.
It's like a classic, I mean, gosh, I was just thinking about that, how, the trucking industry, were heroes. And now you just don't see that anymore,
Not so much a lot anymore. Nobody really
still
cares.
tell us we're number one.
A lot.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not true. During COVID, we were heroes for about 6 months.
Well, yeah.
Because we were delivering toilet paper.
Yeah.
Right.
And when we were heroes.
Yes, we were real heroes then. But it's kind of, lost that the shine.
The shine went off.
The bloom is off the rose. It's like, oh well.
I know.
We had it for a while.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's one of those things that comes and goes in our society. Just people don't. That's why we do this show, because we like to shine the light on the truck drivers in the industry itself. I mean? Like it really is kind of like the thing that I like about the show is that we actually talk to truck drivers and get to hear their story. I was talking to Bob the Fueler this morning about that. I just feel like, this is, I think everybody, and I really do mean this. I think everybody has a story, not just truck drivers. I think everybody has a story. It's not just, if you're Indiana Jones that they have this cool life, but it's like everybody has a story, and I think it's good to hear everybody's story.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that
I got a lot of stories and a lot of more for family friendly podcasting. What a dumb crap you see out there.
It's okay though.
Yeah.
That's all right. Pull the plug. We're good.
Right.
Let it fly.
But so as we're introducing you to the audience, and they'll get to see the work that you do when they look at the graphic arts that you do for the show and everything else. Now, are you you're married and have kids or anything like that? Or
yes, married. I have 3 kids. When my son had soccer this morning, and he also has another game at 2 p.m. today. So
you got a busy day.
Yeah, I got a busy day. The first game we won 3-0, which was awesome. He's 11 and he's playing competitive soccer, so it's really fun. And this is the first season that he's moved up to the full field. So the 11v11. So it's a big change, a lot of running. So I used to play soccer back in the day, and gosh, I never moved up. I played in middle school. I never really went beyond that, but gosh, it's a lot of running.
Thank goodness he's 11. Get all that energy out now. I mean, that's a good thing. That's good for him. I mean, kid running around and getting all that energy out and having fun at the same time. Yeah,
that's all they do is run back and forth, back and forth, back and forth,
with the hope that they'll get the ball. It's like, well, maybe it'll come to me.
I mean, they got to be incredible cardio shape to do that. That is just true. Constant back and forth. I mean, I don't know about like little league soccer and stuff like that, but I watched a few professional soccers. For what, an hour or so? They're just going back and forth and like there's really not much happening other than running back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah.
Every once in a while you'll see a ball go into once or twice a game. You'll see a ball go into the net, and that's got to be incredible cardio.
It's got to be an incredible feeling when you kick the ball into the net, and it's not a truck driver thing.
No, I get winded going to the back of the trailer.
we get winded just getting out to go squirt the dirt.
I was like, oh god, I got barn doors. I got to go all the way back there and open them up,
and then climb back in and back it in. What in the world? Shipper's got some. He's thinking.
All right, here we go.
You know how I get screwed in between loads, at Allentown or Harrisburg?
Yep.
Well, this was at Allentown, right? So I backed my trailer in 21 door, and I saw my trailer up like 17 door, right? And I looked, and it was a Ross trailer, and it had swing doors, and it was rated. I'm like, bitch. Oh, here comes a yard jog. I'm just sitting underneath my tractor, underneath the trailer. I'm already unhooked, just ready to pull out and go. And the yard jockey comes flying over and backs into it. Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna sit here a while.
Yeah.
Then he comes out, and I mean, it left. He got out of the truck, got halfway back, and I mean, it was whoosh. It deluged. I'm like, okay. He closes the doors. Back as he's backing in, I pull alongside him. You don't have to make it look pretty. I'm hooking up to that. He said, well, had I known that, I just, yeah.
That's
but
why I
you
didn't
did.
say anything. Yeah.
But I know that, and that's why I let you do it.
And I checked to make sure it's a through load, so I didn't have to open it at the other end. Just put it in the yard. Okie dokie.
That's the secret to a truck driver's life.
I wasn't his friend that night.
No, you weren't. And of course, every day this week it rained practically. I think it was every day since Tuesday.
Well, yeah, we'll have
Pretty
a break
much,
now,
yeah.
and then the Allentown Fair starts, so it'll
It'll
commence
kick in
raining again. Yeah,
Music Fest. Music Fest up here. It rains every week. Yeah, every year for Music Fest.
Usually
Oh,
flood.
really?
Yep. And it did this whole week. It's supposed to get sunny today. It's nice out today.
Today and tomorrow, though.
Today and tomorrow.
The last 2 days will be nice.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, they'll get the 20 million people in 2 days.
Every show that was supposed to go this week, every live show, it's crazy.
Do you hear that concert? They started like 4:45.
Yeah, Old Dominion, and they ended a half hour later.
Yeah,
wow.
They sent an email. They sent an email out. It was like a couple hours earlier than what they were supposed to start. They sent an email out, and if you didn't show up, you're not getting your money back.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you were at work, you don't check your email. How do you know the show's starting at 4:30?
Right.
Or 4, whatever it was. They played for 45 minutes and then got off because of a few raindrops.
Well, it wasn't rain. They won't cancel it if it's rain. It was because of the threat of lightning. That was it.
There we go.
They don't do it for the lightning.
Did you guys ever do any stuff like that outside at all when you were?
Yes. We played a music festival called Cornerstone. I think it's in Ohio, if I'm not mistaken. But that was
the great state of Ohio.
Yeah, years and years ago.
Oh, look what you did.
What'd you do, Chef? Stop hitting the table. Anyway, you were saying, Jason.
Yeah, but we were a heavy metal band, so yeah, it was really fun. We played all up and down the East Coast. But so Atlanta, we played a music festival in Atlanta. It was a smaller music festival, but it was about maybe 15 bands that played it. So yeah.
Did any of those ever wind up being like, how do you handle something like that? Outside an outside venue when you get like inclement weather comes rolling through. I mean, how do they handle that?
Actually, I don't know because I never experienced that good weather.
It was a fair weather, man.
It's why you do these things in hot, warmer climates and the desert because it doesn't rain.
Yeah.
Desert.
That's what the roadies are for. They come out and hold the umbrella over the guitar player.
Why do you think they go to Burning Man? It's the desert. Coachella, it's the desert. So they don't have to worry about rain. I guess
that's true. Yeah. But playing in the band was really fun. It was really, really a learning experience. I was, like I said, I was in a heavy metal band, and it was a Christian heavy metal band. So we would go and play these clubs where there were bars and stuff, and we may be the only Christian band there. We've experienced some crazy things, like we'd get up and there would be people there that knew we were a Christian band, and they would like come up and like tear up Bibles in front of us and stuff. It was crazy.
Yeah. I can imagine that. Yeah, that's got to be a fun thing to go through. Yeah.
But I mean, it's just, you got to approach it with love and not get angry, because once you get angry and you get you're starting to fight back, then they're like, oh, look at these good Christians. Look,
right.
So you just got to kind of turn the other cheek.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It is crazy. It's amazing. But you deal with it and you move on. And it's life.
Yeah, definitely.
I always wonder about the bands that go to like these festivals and stuff, especially smaller bands, not like named acts and everything. Mm-hmm. Does it actually pay decent, or are you just doing it for the love?
You pretty much just do it for the love of it. I think from what I remember, we got food and maybe a little gas money, and that was pretty much it.
Enough gas money to get you the next gig.
Yeah, pretty much. And then, but we made money off selling our merchandise. That's the main way you make money until you make a name for yourself. And the funny thing is that I don't know if you guys realize this, but whenever you sign a contract with a label, you still really don't get money. You still make your money off merchandise because what you do with that contract is yes, we're going to put you on our label. You're going to get X amount of albums out of the deal, but this is the deal. You pay us back for these albums we're making for you. So you don't see any money until you pay back, your contractual agreement, of however much they've spent pressing the albums and all that. Yeah.
You make money off the touring, the concerts. If you're a band, concerts, merch, and, well, now nobody makes any money off of albums, really.
How does that actually work nowadays in the digital age?
They get a half a penny for a song that iTunes sells, or even if you're lucky, I guess if it's half a penny, it's like it's nothing. You don't make any money really off of streaming or anything like that. It's the shows. That's why the Def Leppard and Poison, these bands that should be in retirement, are out touring right now because they're not making any money off their songs.
Because nobody's buying albums anymore. Yeah.
They might make a few shekels every year. Yeah. But they have to go out. If they sell out an arena, 3 bands now, usually 3 or 4 of them go out together.
Right.
They go out and they, 3 or 4, they sell out an arena and then they split the cost, and the record company isn't getting much of that money.
Wow.
It's just they're making everything off the door.
No kidding.
Well, the promoter, I'm sure, is taking their fair share.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, everybody's got take their little slice first. So.
The band's the last to get anything that's left over.
Well,
definitely.
That's a big thing in like comedians now. A lot of them aren't waiting for HBO or Netflix to give them a special. They're putting it out on YouTube.
Yeah, that's true.
They're monetizing their YouTube channel, and that's all their money. But they don't have to pay a promoter or pay Netflix. Or Netflix doesn't take a cut of it.
Right.
A lot of people are doing that on just monetizing YouTube, and they're making bank off of, from what I hear in interviews and stuff.
I imagine.
Yeah. The one thing though, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just wondering how the band, like smaller bands, do it.
How they get it going.
Yeah. I mean, you see them all loaded up in a van, and you think of movies like the Blues Brothers where they just show up one night and here's your $200, but you drank $500 worth of beer, so you get nothing.
So, in fact, you owe us.
Let me write you a check.
I mean, essentially, that's how it works. The one thing that I did, so the reason I'm not in the band anymore is because the band was like, quit your job or quit the band, and I was like, sorry guys, I'm about to get married, so I guess I'm quitting the band. Which I mean, they continued on for a little while, and they did get an album deal, and they did become semi famous, I guess, in their genre. But yeah, so it's, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, the making money. So it's I think the main way that, you make money is still like through YouTube and stuff like that. You'll put out your own videos, and, you'll get monetization from people watching the videos. Right. And just producing yourself instead of having a record company do it. Now you can make some money that way. Like if you spend your own money and press your CDs or whatever, or, just go MP3 route, there's a bunch of audio services out there that will give 100% of the money back to the artist, and they may keep a fraction of it. But yeah, there's ways that people can produce themselves and make money nowadays.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, the record companies aren't as crucial as it was back 10 years ago, because you can do it all yourself now.
Well, on that same vein, like things like this, like podcasts and everything, they're doing a lot of them. They aren't making big money, but they're just putting their podcast on Apple or Spotify or whatever.
Right.
And a lot of them are getting monetized. I'm assuming that's how this works too. The Hammerlane Legends and
sort of,
anything with Merkel Media podcast.
Well,
somebody's making
we're
money.
Talking, and
corporate office might be getting something. North Studios here.
Yeah.
Take notice, South not saying a word. Just a big smile.
It's all good.
Yeah.
We got hats last year. Shush.
Yeah, we got hats last year.
And a really cool coffee mug too. I saw on.
Yeah.
Who did?
Oh, I didn't get it, but I saw it on the page.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
One thing about
Thank you for saving me, Jason. Thank you.
about podcasting. So I have a podcast also, and I've never made anything at all. I've tried and tried. It's so hard. I mean, you don't understand how hard it is to.
Oh no, I do.
I mean,
I do.
yeah.
It's a labor of love.
Yeah.
It literally is a labor of love.
It is.
If you don't enjoy it, and if you don't want to do it, if your heart's not in it, don't do it. Because not everybody gets monetized. Not yeah, I'm on my way. I'm saying, yeah, I'm checking out. Mike's my replacement.
Yeah, that's what I figure. He's got the electric car.
Oh boy, here we go.
I know, right? There it is.
Yeah.
Right away. But no, it's true.
Don't worry,
really
I'll tow you
true.
back when you
know.
need it.
It's something that if you don't feel it, if you don't really want to do it, until you make any money, it's all about your passion to do it. Whether you want to do this, if you really want to do it,
Mhm.
and enjoy it.
So
And
that's
don't do it
the
'cause
whole
you're gonna
thing.
get it.
I
Yeah,
got
that's the whole thing. Yeah.
I'm not going to say it.
Thank you. I appreciate
I
that.
want to hear it.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
Trust me, you don't. Go ahead, Jason.
So the podcast I started was because I wanted to talk to people and I wanted to do it, more of a hobby than as a business. And so it's, if I didn't make money, that's great. I would have liked to make some money, but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Right. But also this segment that we're in, we're doing kind of the whole like a supernatural thing. And I used to have I've actually got a different co-host now. But my original co-host, we had this dynamic where he was an unbeliever and I'm a believer, and we kind of, go back and forth, about, stuff. And that was a really good dynamic. And then he couldn't do the show anymore because his wife just had a kid. So he stepped back and I replaced him, and it was still going good and stuff, but it's changed a lot now. So what did I miss something?
If you said you replaced him, I figured I just look at Chip.
Yeah. I just saw the sideways eyes like, yeah, watch it, buddy.
Yeah.
I couldn't resist. It was just a funny in the moment thing, dude.
Yeah. So now it's kind of a different dynamic, and he's gone through some stuff. And since we do talk about the supernatural and everything, he's really feeling like it's not really something he wants to talk about anymore. So we're kind of going to reformat everything, and that's why I was saying if you listen to our show and you tune in Monday, we're going to kind of talk about that, about the reformatting and where we're going from here. So yeah.
Was it specifically like supernatural as in ghosts?
Like paranormal type
everything, all the paranormal stuff. Yeah. So, I don't know if you've listened to the confessionals of Tony's show, but, that's what got me all started. And I wanted to do, I didn't want to have people call in necessarily. I kind of wanted more of a discussion. That's why we called it AFK discussion. It's two guys talking about the supernatural, and then occasionally you may have someone come on and tell us their story or something, but yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, I enjoy listening to Tony's. I mean, I've always been, to me, it's like I've always been fascinated by the subject matter, and it just, I always like listening to Coast when I first started driving truck, and I listened to it for years until the kids showed me podcasting, and I was like, oh, well, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And it's when I don't even listen to the radio anymore. I just listen to my, podcasts or my iPhone.
Be for podcasting, I don't know if it'd be driving a truck anymore,
Right.
because that
Dude,
is
I
the
just
only
started
thing.
listening to
so
the radio.
different.
Well, you would drive down the road listening to nothing.
Yeah.
Except
Yeah,
you're on
no,
the
he does.
I finally turned a knob on radio.
Literally, he drives a truck and didn't listen to the radio until just literally recently. I'm like, how do you do that?
I know. Rattle on a Mac.
Yeah, that's why I turned the radio on.
Wrist
So I don't
pin
have
rattle,
to listen to the
everything.
rattle.
I gotta have something to make the voices in my head go away.
Exactly. I gotta have something in my head to distract
Yeah.
me from just getting irritated with everybody. It's like if I'm in a happy spot, I'm good.
Yeah, I couldn't. I mean, I had a truck a couple weeks ago, because mine was at and all day long because now I'm driving during the day.
Right.
The radio did not work. The only thing I could get was AM station.
Right.
You know, an AM station is great, but it only goes for like
5
a couple
miles.
and then
And you're out.
and I wrote it up, and they said, no, this isn't even our truck. It's from another terminal. We're not doing it. I was like, this no FM. I couldn't get it's an older.
So you couldn't program your phone through.
I couldn't get the Bluetooth hooked up because it had no Bluetooth capable. I was like, oh my god, this is like what my grandfather used to do back in the day. Well, he had cassette decks.
Did it have auxiliary port on it?
No. It was one of those old radios. It had AM, FM, and it had auxiliary, but I guess that was in the back of the radio to plug in.
Not helpful.
No, not at all. I was like, I don't know how anybody just drives with that's why I listen to podcasts.
Well, thank God you didn't start driving to the 80s.
The 80s? No, I started way later than that. I didn't start.
So how old do you think he is?
Well,
I started in 95 professionally driving.
There you go.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Well,
your life.
I wish I could go back to 1978 when I was like 6-7 years old and I saw Smokey and the Bandit and I said, that's what I want to do.
On an article,
that's not what it.
You shouldn't have watched the movie. Yeah, I know.
On an article I read about that, they said when that movie came out, CB radio sales skyrocketed.
I bet.
And the Pontiac Trans Am went from like 40,000 a year to like 68 to 78,000 cars made per year.
Wow. In 1975, Pontiac was going to cancel the Firebird, which is the Trans Am, because the sales were
this
in such
is the interesting part of the show, Jason. This is where
this is where that rail got bent and we all just flew off.
Yeah, I have another rail right here. I'm itching to go on, but I'm just holding out here. I have the article right here, framed up, ready to go.
Wow, I'm surprised you actually have an article.
I did show prep while I'm sitting here.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Show prep, not before prep. Indicates prep means prepared.
This is what I'm doing while I'm doing it. If I just sit here with my hands folded up, it's not the same.
Brian's over there yapping to the new guy. We're just going to be on the phone here.
Yeah. What can I find? You know,
that's me.
Anyway,
that's the way I roll. Sorry.
So, what got you interested in doing the paranormal stuff? What is the thing that drew you to that?
I've actually had some experiences throughout my life. They were strange, I guess you could say. So I guess the main one was I used to have like I guess it was in the 90s, maybe 93 through 95. This like nightly weird like black orb thing would like float over my head in the middle of the night. I know it sounds very strange. And yeah, I woke up and I would see it, and at first it was really scary, and then it just kind of pissed me off, and I'm like, getting mad at it because it wouldn't let me sleep, and that happened until I moved out of my parents' house. Wow. I have no idea what it is. Since have heard some other stories that are similar. But the one thing I was going to say earlier, you may know this, Brian. When you start shows like this and you start looking into it, then things start happening.
Right.
And that's what you wish for.
Yeah.
It's almost like another reason why I kind of want to step back also. We've had some weird stuff happen in my house.
Which
people, go ahead.
If I may, it's why I was glad Tony waited till he was married to do his podcast. Nothing happened here. So we're good.
We've heard people walk up the stairs and no one's there.
Right.
Just super strange things. My wife has said she felt like someone was walking on her bed at night. Just such weird things that can't be explained that have happened. I have a Ring camera, and I have one inside the house in our hallway because my kids, when they come home from school, that my wife and I both work, so we have just to make sure they're not destroying anything. We have a Ring camera in our hallway. And we had it on, and there was like, I think it was a Godzilla toy my son had laying in the hallway, and it like moved by itself. You could see it on the video, just move.
Wow.
So I don't know.
That's why I don't want any of those Ring things. I don't want any cameras in the house because I sit down and I start watching the video. I'm moving.
Yeah.
The cameras. I'm going. We're packing and we're going.
Yeah.
Not me. We're not packing. We're just buying new shit.
I've watched those YouTube videos, and people put up, they put the cameras in their house, and all of a sudden you see all the stuff that happens when you're not paying attention or when you're sleeping. And I was like, nah, that's why I work at night, sleep during the day, because everything that's scary happens at night.
Yeah, I don't have any in my house, but I got the cameras outside the house, and when we first put them up there, I got an alert the next morning. I said, yeah, movement on your back camera. Well, the back is, back of the house. There shouldn't be anything moving back there in the middle of the night. And I'm not proud to say it, but I kind of screamed a little when I saw it. Because I
screamed like a girl.
It was. I actually almost dropped my phone because I'm watching it, and I was like, there's nothing there. And then all of a sudden, the spider crawls right over the lens. And it was just, I was watching it on my wife's iPad. So it was huge. And I was like, what? That was the most paranormal thing that happened to me. Now I just don't even look at the cameras unless something happened.
See, exactly. That's
now Mike can't recite Itsy Bitsy Spider would have flashbacks.
I was in a fetal position watching Spider-Man. I just couldn't do it.
Spidey senses tingling.
Funny. It's just a reality. It's like that. And I just don't. I've watched enough YouTube videos.
Yeah,
I don't. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And I also have the outside cameras, and I've had the spider happen to me also. And raccoons. We'll catch raccoons all the time. So,
wow.
Yes.
The only thing that I had ever seen outside our house was I have these night vision goggle thingies, and I literally I took them outside.
It's just Shoesville.
And I had my flashlight, and I just shined it over, and there's we have a church right next to us in the backyard. There's like trees and a little bit of woods and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I shined my big flashlight over there, and it's like there's little eyeballs everywhere, all over the whole churchyard. I was like, it was the creepiest thing because it was like a lot of them. It wasn't like a couple of raccoons or 2 or 3 deer. I mean, there's like eyeballs everywhere, all over the.
They were stalking you.
They were. I came in the house. I said, Michelle, you got to come out and take a look at this. This is crazy, So I'm trying, and then I got the binoculars out, and it was just a couple of deer and some raccoons. I was like, okay, we're good. I don't want, just in case it's a Bigfoot or something back there, because dude, he's gonna come visit one of these days.
He is.
I don't care what anybody else says.
They're playing down in Bethlehem. Sasquatch is
Sasquatch is down there.
What that poor dude on a 95-degree day playing saxophone.
Can you imagine that?
So speaking of Bigfoot,
yeah.
So I don't know if it was Brian, if it was you or your wife. I think it was your wife that Tony was talking to. So I was in his film, The Sasquatch and Missing Man. I played the role of Wes Germer. I was, in the reenactment. And so we were there filming, and there was this weird clicking sound coming from the woods. And it was, because he told the story after the fact, because he heard it first. And I think he was on the phone with you or your wife, and your wife was like, roll up the windows, lock the doors or whatever. Tony, he gets out and goes look for it.
He's like, he just goes towards it.
Yeah.
Weird.
And then after we get done filming, we're all standing around, and it happens again. I still don't know what it is. It's the weirdest thing. It sounded like the the movie Predator, with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, he does that click that I can't make the sound that. I don't know. That is exactly like that. Exactly, and it was coming from the woods, and I have looked and tried to figure out what that could possibly be, and I have no idea. I can't find anything that sounds like it.
Were you out at Washington when that?
No. This was in Tennessee. Yeah, this is local. Yeah, because we were just doing the shots of the reenactment of Wes's story. So yeah,
interesting story too.
It is. Yeah,
crazy.
That was very scary. And so Tony's like, you guys armed? And we're all like, yeah. He's like, okay, let's go. So we took off walking through the woods. There's like, I guess you would call it a Jeep trail, is big enough for a Jeep or a 4-wheel drive to get down. So we're walking down through there, and Josh, who runs Black Diamond Guns and Gear, he was behind us all, and he had an AR. And all of a sudden, like a stick just comes flying through the forest, and just it's I can't explain it. I don't know what it was, but it was I don't know.
Right.
And the place we're at is yeah. The place we're at is
the first place.
the place we're at is Tony likes to call it a magical place. It's definitely a weird, strange area. So
Right.
Well, they call Disney World a magical place too.
It has
that's also weird, strange.
I couldn't resist.
A circle right back to that.
Oh man. You know, this is how we just go off the rail. This is just how, you know.
Oh yeah. But I mean, you know, I'm glad because you know I didn't know how many stories I would have that you know involved, you know, driving and stuff. Which you know, like I said, I'm kind of adjacent. I don't really have anything to do with the trucking industry. Yeah, actually, I do have I do drive a car. Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You got driving experience. So
Yeah. I do have a trucking story. So this is kind of a sad one. My great uncle, he was from Ohio. I don't know if he drove for the same people you drive for, because that's in Ohio too, right?
Yep.
In Ohio, yeah. So he was out of Dayton, I think Dayton, Ohio. That's where he lived.
Yeah.
But his name was Hollis Wells, and he was driving one night and he had some equipment. I don't know what kind of equipment was on the back. Some sort of I want to say it was like paving equipment or something he was taking for, you know, like it was some sort of job site equipment with wheels, you know, like someone could drive, I think. I don't know. But he went, like he said it felt loose or something. Well, I'm saying the secondhand because what happened. So he went to check on it, and I guess the straps were loose or something, and he was trying to adjust it. And anyways, it came off and it rolled over him and he passed away. So that's kind of a sad story, but yeah,
that really is. Holy cow! Was he married and have kids or anything? Like that?
He was married. His kids were older. He was my great uncle. So yeah.
Wow.
I think I was like 11 or 12 at the time. So
that is how crazy this industry can be. You know, I mean, things can just happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I mean, it's the stuff you see, the crazy things that go on. You know, it's just one of those industries.
It takes 1 second and not paying attention, or
it does.
Look, I didn't see that, and that could be the end of it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, my word, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Like I don't see how you guys can tolerate some of the drivers. I mean, I have been, you know, like the big thing is my family and I, we like to do road trips. So we'll, you know, drive, you know, from here to Texas we just drove to Miami recently. And just, I'll see cars just like cut in front of, you know, semis. And I'm just like, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
Those guys cannot stop as fast as you, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad enough they do it to other cars. I mean, I get irritated just driving to work and driving home in the morning. I'm sure everybody does, you know, because, you know, we're driving home in the morning. Now Mike works during the day. He's a regular daytime person now. Like, you know, he has a human being's life and is able to live.
Glorious.
It is. It's kind of nice. He kind of has a glow
except
about
for the traffic
now.
issues. That ain't glorious.
It doesn't change for anybody. But, you know, you're driving rush hour traffic and you're just like, if people, and I say this all in my own head, I'm like, if you would just leave your house 15 minutes earlier, you could avoid all of this rushing around and trying to be the first in line and trying to be the first one off the ramp and trying to, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
And learn how to merge.
And
that's
just
the biggest thing on
and
the highway.
signal.
Yeah,
Can you just let me know you're getting on or getting off?
It's a lot of work though.
To
push that thing down, and then if it doesn't auto cancel, you got to push it back up.
Well, look,
that's
crazy. Only another 2 or 3 more years, and that'll be incorporated in the steering of the vehicle. I mean, you know, because we can't figure out how to put fucking lights on in the wintertime, you know, when it's raining.
Dude, that's here now.
It is.
Well, then what's your problem? Get a newer car.
I'll tell them I have a newer car. It does it for me.
Does your turn signal come on as soon as you turn the wheel to the right?
Yes. Well, no. If I have it on autopilot or no, not full self driving, which I don't pay for, but that all it does, the car does all that for you.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Autonomous. I don't have that.
So you have a Tesla, I guess. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Dang,
I got them on a wall.
living that good life.
It is. I mean, according to a lot of guys I work with, you're freaking nuts for doing it. It's great for me, man. I'm loving it. I have what 5,600 miles on it now. Bought it in February.
Wow.
I haven't even spent $190 to charge it.
To drive it.
Yeah, that whole time.
Wow.
So I'm doing. It's working out for me. It isn't like
Oh, my word.
Well,
yeah.
it must be nice as long as you stay within the
That is
Tesla
working
charging
out all
stations.
my Tesla charging station is at home.
I was gonna say, is that your house? 'Cause
Yeah, I come home, plug it in every morning. My car's ready to
Wait,
go.
like 10 minutes from work, 15 minutes from work.
About 15.
Yeah, that's nice. That's
Thank God it ain't what
perfect.
you got. But even what you got, I mean, it's well within range of an EV, and it's, man, to drive all the way out, like you must go through gas like crazy. Oh, your car's pretty efficient.
Yeah,
but
it is. Yeah, which I'm really surprised.
what was it, like 40 miles one way?
Yeah, 40 miles, 145.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
wonder
but-
you had 370,000 on the last car.
On the last one, yeah, exactly. It adds up quickly, but you know,
So the Teslas, I got to say, my friend has one, and gosh, for the money, you can't get something any faster. I mean, that if you want a fast car, you can get a Tesla. He has a Model 3, and it's just the regular Model 3. I think he has the extended range or whatever.
Long range. They're all-wheel
Yeah,
drive.
long range, and then he paid to upgrade to get the sport mode or whatever it is.
No
in it.
range boost. He had like
Yeah.
$2,000 or whatever, I think it
Yeah,
was.
gosh, that thing though, I drove it and I'm like, this is like Ferrari fast. I mean,
Yeah.
it is insane.
I
It is
had
so fast.
I used to have a Corvette. I had a 2019 C7 Corvette Grand Sport. They said the acceleration on that was 3.8 seconds, 0 to 60. I was never able to get that. I got 4 flat, was the quickest. I just ran out of tire. I didn't have enough grip to
Mhm.
get that 3.8. But this Tesla this is just a Model Y. This is the family hauler version of it. I got a quicker 0 to 6. It feels quicker than that Corvette did.
Yeah.
It's like the EV instant torque, all your horsepower, all your torque is available right away. Not like with a gas car, with that you got to wait for the turbo to spool up if you have one, or even the fuel to get to the engine. There's lag. There's just nothing with an EV. As soon as your foot touches that pedal, it goes. Now it falls off higher. You know, if you're in a drag race, and once you get up to about 80 miles an hour, then that acceleration curve, that torque curve just falls off. You have no more torque. All you have is the electric motor still spinning.
Okay.
But in a short,
For a short burst.
traffic light to traffic light,
Right.
you know, drag racing, I will embarrass everybody. You know,
Yeah.
just coming out here, a guy in a 370Z, a Nissan 370Z is a Nismo package. He thought he was hot crap. I wasn't having it.
Showed him.
So I just stomped on him. And he kept up with me, of course, but yeah, it's an SUV. It's a family hauler, and it's the quickest thing I've ever driven. However, I turned that off anyway, because the problem with all that quickness and acceleration, if you let it go, the tires wear out real quick.
Oh, I get you. I never thought
Because
about
the
that,
torque
but
on that is just so I put it in chill mode, and my wife says I drive like an old man.
That's all right. That's a good way to drive. As long as you're not driving like Shipper.
Oh God, no! I followed him home. One of the podcasts I did here, I had my wife. She has an Audi TT, which is a little sports car, and I was like, "Did I just hit triple digits?" And he's pulling away from me. I'm like, and he's got this big giant Ford Super Duty.
I got up to planing speed.
Yes, you did.
He's nuts.
I don't know how that. I was very impressed that big boat could go that fast.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
I was like, I'm done. I'm just gonna sit back here, set the cruise control.
You close your eyes when you ride with Shipper.
Yeah.
That's one thing with me. I'm like all safe about at work, but I get in my vehicle, get the hell out of my way, because I hit that ramp on 78 going east there. She should be about at 80 by the time I come off that ramp to shoot right on the interstate. And
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
that takes
So
the turbo lag away. That's that point.
The fastest I've ever been in a car is 120 miles per hour. My friend has a Toyota Supra, and he converted it. It's a I think it was a 95 5, 6.
Oh,
It was the last of the Toyota Supra, the old
side.
then they didn't make it for a while, and then they started back up recently. So it was the last body style with the big wing on the back and stuff.
Right.
The more sleek version. So he had that, and he converted it from a twin turbo to a single turbo, and it had, he still has it. I think it's got around 800-900 horsepower. I mean, it's crazy. And we were coming back from a car show in Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, Tennessee, where the Smoky Mountains are.
Yep.
And there's just like 75 is just like a straight shot. And there was this Mustang that was trying to play with us. He's like, on the interstate, and my buddy's name's Cliff. He's like, watch this. And he just dropped it down and just, I was like, I was like a rocket ship. And I just looked, and that Mustang was in the rearview mirror, just tiny. And I looked over, and we're doing like 120. I was like, oh my God, that's crazy.
That's fast enough for me. That's
yeah. I mean, that car, if you're just driving, you have to really be gentle, because if you give it any gas, it just breaks the wheels loose.
Well, that was before ABS and traction control and stability control that's on these new cars now.
Right.
It's very hard to get these newer cars, combustion, electric, whatever. They have all these nannies on there that, the stability control, traction control, from doing
anything. Yeah.
You can go out on the racetrack and, that's why a lot of these guys, they go out there, they think, I can autocross anything because my Toyota GR Corolla kept me in the lane and everything. Well, now you go and you drive, you get some money in your pocket, you go and buy an old 911. 911 isn't forgiving, that engine in the back, and you have no weight on those front, you'll go right off the track. You see it all the time.
Yeah.
These nannies really help. That's why if you go on YouTube and just type in Mustang fail, it is so many, because when they used to have the live axles in the back, or the solid axle, man, they just didn't get any grip. They had all the power, but they had no tire underneath them. And leaving car shows and stuff, that was the big meme for a while. Mustangs running into crowds or hitting curbs. And I've seen them rip their whole axle off because they spun around and just ripped the whole axle off the back because they hit a curb, just trying to be cool.
Wow.
So you mentioned autocrossing. I used to autocross back in the day too. Yeah. I had a Volkswagen GTI, and gosh, it was so much fun. Yeah, it was a 95, the VR6. It was such a fun car. And then after that, I got a 2000. I think it was a 2005, the first with the 2.0 turbo. When they redesigned the body, that one was awesome too. I love that. Yeah, I'm a huge Volkswagen guy. That's when you said the Audi TT. I was like, yeah, dude, I love me some Audis and Volkswagens.
my car before I got the Tesla was an Audi Q3, the latest generation.
Yeah,
because I was really, that's basically just my wife's TT is basically a Volkswagen GTI.
Yeah,
well, I heard it's an all-wheel drive, so it's a Golf R.
Yeah,
and that's the way my Audi Q3 was too, and they're fantastic cars. But boy, when you got to replace a part, that stuff gets expensive.
It's a fantastic price.
Yes,
it's got to come from Germany,
right?
They got to ship it, so
they have enough in the country. Why can't you buy it from here?
Yeah, I have a Volkswagen Atlas right now, and I love it.
That's a good family color.
Yeah, I've grown in Volkswagen, so I had my first car was an '82 Jetta.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got the GTI. Then I got the 3.0 or the 2.0 turbo GTI. Then I got I had a Tiguan, and then I had a Passat, and now I have an Atlas. So
the Atlas you got should have that VR6 in it too, right?
It does have the VR6. Yeah,
that's a good motor. They stopped making them last year, but that's a good motor.
It does. It's
Merkel over here. I had a Toyota. Now I got a Hyundai.
Yep. Best.
Well, you used to have a Miata.
Best. I did have a Miata for a while. That's right.
I remember that.
It was way before Shipper.
Yeah, I remember you used to drive that thing to work.
Yeah, I did.
That's a girl car.
That's all right. It was fun to drive.
They were fun, but I don't know how you fit in it. Man.
That wasn't easy.
You were a big boy. I drove one once. I went to test drive one, and my wife was because it's only two-seater. So
right,
the salesman had to go with me for the test drive. My wife was laughing when I came back. She goes, you look like you're in a toy car. Because I was literally above the windshield. I'm like looking over. I'm like, well, this isn't gonna work. I could barely shift because it's a manual. My leg was up against the door trying to. I was like, I don't know how. I was like, well, this car ain't gonna work for me.
That's good thing I'm short. You know?
Well, yeah, I wish I was shorter.
I fit all the way across. It was a fun car.
Yeah, Miatas are fantastic.
Yeah.
And the Toyota GR 86s and the Subaru BRZs. Now they're fantastic, like little sports cars that compete, but they're not convertibles. But I guess the new Miatas have a little more room in them, from what I understand. But I haven't driven one in.
I haven't either, and I wasn't going to pay for one. So, for two of us,
Yeah.
I mean, it is only two of us.
That's the perfect time to have a little sports car.
Yeah, right now is the time. Yeah, exactly. But best car I ever had was my Toyota.
What kind of Toyota did you have?
Camry.
2001.
Manual transmission.
Manual, 5-speed manual. That's the fastest 55 miles an hour I ever did.
I got a good Toyota story for you guys.
373,854 miles out of that car. So that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, they last forever. Yeah. But I have a really funny story about Toyotas. So back in high school, one of my friends had it was a Toyota Corona. I don't know if you remember those. They were kind of a small, I guess, a compact car.
They were before the Corolla.
Yeah, they were smaller than the Corolla. So he had this thing, and gosh, it would do anything you wanted to do. We went off-roading in that car. It was nuts. And he was kind of a crazy guy, just didn't have a lot of sense, about, well, I don't know if it was a lot of sense or just, he was just that crazy. But we would be driving sometimes. He's like, see this tree right here? And it's like, yeah. He goes, I wrecked in there one time. You're like, what? And he would veer and just ram into the tree with the car. I'm like, what? I mean, that car, he would beat it to crap, and
wow,
he would just keep going. He would run into mailboxes. He would just go down the road, just plow through mailboxes. Literally like off-road trails for like 4-wheel drives. He would take this little car and it would just eat it up.
No kidding.
That's why Honda's got a foothold in the U.S. here, because they were pretty fuel efficient and they were indestructible.
Yep, they last.
That's what the kids I grew into high school with, a lot of them had old Honda Civics and Toyota, old Toyota Camrys and stuff that were just beat the snot. And these kids didn't change the oil. They didn't take care of them.
No, but they ran.
They ran. Yeah. They mostly got rid of them because of the rust.
Yep.
It didn't pass inspection. You can't drive it no more.
Yeah. It's the downfall of every car that lasts for a long time. It's going to
rust.
Rust in this area up here.
Oh yeah.
The road salt in the wintertime and the humidity in the summer. It's going to die.
Yeah.
Because it's going to rust out.
It's gotten better though. You see cars that are holding on a lot. Whatever they're putting under that undercarriages now, probably that True Coat they're putting on the undercarriage.
Right.
And they're not rusting like they
that
used
is true.
to. My grandfather had a Scout. You remember the Scout?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which is coming back, by the way, as an EV.
No kidding.
I saw that.
I did not know that.
Volkswagen owns the name.
Yeah.
So they got the Scout name when International Harvester
really cool.
got sold to Navistar, and then they acquired Navistar. So they're bringing back the Scout. It's gonna be an all EV brand. But
very cool.
My grandfather bought the last year of the Scout in 1980.
Wow.
And within a year, rust hole. Not just a little bubble that you could put your finger through. A year. And they patched it up, and eventually they just got tired of patching it. They started using foam insulation and spraying it in there, sanding it down, taking a can of spray paint until the frame got a hold of the rust, got a hold of the frame, and then that was it.
Then you're done.
Yeah, the best kind of patch job for the Scouts and that stuff always used to be street signs. 35 mile an hour speed limit.
Pop rivet.
Because you pop rivet them right down, but it ain't rusting there anymore. That's galvanized.
That's what they used to do to pass inspection.
Yep.
Gosh, that's another good thing about living in Tennessee. We don't have inspections. So
you don't have a state inspection down there?
No, not at all.
That would be glorious. It's such
I don't
pain
know.
in the butt.
I've seen some people that that they need that.
Well,
They need the reminder.
Yeah.
You know?
They come in, the freaking rotors are worn all the way down.
Yeah.
I'm just here for tires, nothing else.
We're gonna have to replace your rotors. Are they that bad? Well, they're not there.
Exactly.
I mean, if you want to tune a car, you know, Tennessee's the best. You know, you can just run straight pipes right off the header. They're not going to look for
Catalytic
converters or anything. Yeah.
Wow.
It's amazing. That is amazing.
I have to get Tennessee plates when my truck's starting to rot away. Well, on a quiet night, you can hear it
You can hear it
rust.
rusting. Yeah, it's a
Oh,
Ford.
it's a
so-
Ford. Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
I want to get a truck really bad.
I have a
So
Ford Ranger.
that's my next thing. A Ford.
1993.
Hasn't moved in
No.
10 years, but it's.
Haven't moved in a little while. It's been a while.
I thought you were from Tennessee. I thought it was mandatory to have a truck,
It is, but you know,
a big one.
I have
with
an SUV. Like I said before, I'm truck adjacent. I have an SUV. But yeah, I really, gosh, there's what is it? The Ford, the F-150. I can't think of the name of it. It's not the base model, but it's the one up from the base model. I can't remember what it's called, but it has
Lariat.
no, yeah, it's not STX. That's what
Okay,
it is. Yeah, but it's the model, the 2024 model year. But it has so much stuff on it. It has the digital gauge cluster and all that.
I think that's on all of them now. I think all.
Oh, is it on everyone? Yeah.
Yeah, even the big ones are coming.
Yeah, this thing is awesome though, because you can get the 5-liter in it, and that's what I would get. You know, I don't. Everyone's like the Turbo 6 is great, but man, I want a 5-liter if I get a truck. You know,
Ford is the last one in their 1500 series. You know, their half-ton pickup trucks that still has a V8. Nobody else has it.
Wow.
That's still a 302?
It's the 5-liter Coyote V8 that they
okay.
put in the Mustang. You know, they've been putting that in the Fords, but that Ford is the last one that offers a V8 in a without a heavy duty truck. Still, you can get them, but in their 1500s, everybody else is going to 6 cylinders, or the Chevy had their base engine is a 2.7 liter 4-banger. Wow.
Yeah.
But I mean, that 4-cylinder puts out 300 horsepower.
Yeah, that's crazy. My brother-in-law has one, the 4-cylinder. He's like, look at the motor, and he popped the hood, and I was like, oh my gosh, it looks tiny in there, you know, like a size.
You can stand in the engine bay to change the oil.
Yeah.
Like it used to be. That's how things used to be. I used to watch my brother-in-law work on my dad's car, and that's back. He had like a 1977 Chevy Malibu, and it was huge front end. It was all front end. And you open up the hood and you can see the dirt. You can see the ground underneath you. It's like, oh, you can sit on the front on the radiator and work on them. Now you can't even see underneath it.
My grandmother or great grandmother had a 72 Buick LeSabre. My grandfather and my uncle were both standing in the engine bay to get to because they had the distributor on the back of that engine for some reason. So they were both in the engine bay. I think one of them was sitting up on the fender, but they were both in there working on this. Yeah. And this had a big, not a big, it was a 350. It wasn't a big block, but there's a big engine sitting in there. Still plenty of room. I mean, there must have been 2 feet between the radiator and the fan.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Gigantic. Those cars.
Now you look at
now anymore. You're lucky you get your hand down.
Yeah, you're like, how do you do anything?
It's a plastic. Like on my wife's car, she's got that Audi. It's a little 2.0 4-cylinder, and it's just a plastic cover. You barely see an engine. You could see the turbo sitting in the back there, but you don't see a whole lot of mechanical anything in there. Just a plastic cover.
It's like Volkswagen when you bring it in for any kind of service. Please, what does it say? Please move front bumper into in-service mode, where the freaking whole bumper comes forward. Yeah, everything shifts forward that you can do servicing up front, and then you flip it back.
A lot of these cars you have to remove just to replace a turn signal or a headlamp on the front. You got to take the whole front bumper off the damn thing.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's why they're doing LEDs now. They don't have to change them as much.
Yeah,
they last pretty much the life. They're supposed to last the life of the car.
Right.
So
if they don't, you just get rid of the car and get a new
pretty
one.
much.
It would cost you a fortune to change.
Do what one of our dispatchers used to. Remember when Hickman, he got a flat tire, went to the dealership, bought a new truck.
There you go. That's what you do. You just,
I got 4 new tires and a truck free. Universal.
It's an adjective, all right. Anyway, Jason, thanks for coming on and spending some time with us.
It was nice meeting you.
Yeah, it was. It was good to meet you. It was really
nice to meet you guys too.
Face to face, and we'll be talking.
You'll be talking to him. I won't.
Yeah,
I don't have his number.
Yeah,
Come on.
There's a reason for that. You don't want him to have your number,
Don't
bro.
get him the number.
Yeah, nope.
They don't give me the numbers to HQ.
No.
They won't even give me the address to HQ where I drive down.
As far as he knows, HQ is in Alaska.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's only
It's safer
45
that
hours
way.
away.
Safer that way.
Not the way you drive. It'll be 10 hours.
I was accounting for snow in Canada.
Anyway, thank you so much, Jason. You take care of yourself. It was great to meet you, and we hope
Looking forward to working with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, what he said.
This
And
might be my last podcast.
I may be just doing this by myself soon. You know what I mean? Oh man!
Because that's just the way it is. We have to cut back here.
We hope
Corporate cutback. Somebody's getting laid off. And this
we
is
enjoyed
Brian's
this
house,
show,
so-
and we hope everybody else enjoyed this show too. And if they enjoyed the show, Shipper, what can they do?
They can share the show. Share it with a Democrat
Share
or
it.
a Republican. And an
Yes, sir.
independent for
And
all that matter.
independent, yep.
Just don't forget to get out and vote. Vote often.
Vote
That's a
early,
good idea.
vote often. Right,
Yes.
I know. Like the old Democrat line. Vote early,
And
vote
if you
often.
know somebody that passed away, vote for
I've
them.
already filled out 50 ballots myself.
There you go. We're well underway.
But anyway,
everybody, keep the hammer down.
and the Hammer Lane. Good night.
Good night.